Hello, everyone. What's up? Thanks for tuning in to the pre-show. We're doing a little bit of a pre-show. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Marth with the first. Viz is here. Onikaze Kenta. What's up? Raptor here. Thank you very much, Raptor, for the resub. 9 months. Time flies, Raptor. Mini dance party for you. And Archong's here. What's up, Archong? How are you? How's everyone? Doing a little bit of a pre-show before we start the playthrough proper. So thank you guys for being here. First question is, how's the audio levels? How is the game audio? Because I currently have the game on the load screen, so I can play this beautiful prelude. How are the levels compared to my voice? Do I need to bump the game audio up or down? Trying to install an all-in-one on my PC, as in all-in-one cooler for the graphics or the CPU. Those can definitely be finicky because you're holding so many things all at once. For the CPU, yeah, because you gotta like dangle the radiator over here as you tighten the screws on the water block slash pump in a star pattern. Your voice does drown out the music when you're talking a bit. Okay, so could bump the game audio a little bit, right? Thank you, Exiden. How are you, Exiden? Thanks for being here. So I'll bump the game audio just a bit. I think I have it at 40% right now. Let's bring it up to 50%. Viz with the cheer. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Dude. 1,000 bits. Viz. Incredible. What's up? When's the next Sekiro stream, Viz? Busy? Busy, Viz? Oh yeah, how was that weekend? You had like a weekend, it was like a whole week where you're hanging out with friends, right? Hopefully that was refreshing, re-energizing for you. Hopefully you had a good time. I feel like I'm missing a few ports on the motherboard. That's my issue. Oh, as in potentially like USB headers to power and control the pump and fans? USB headers or fan headers? Yeah, I always had issues with that, and then you're like, well, time to search Amazon for splitters, right? See if I can split and power extra things off of this or that fan header, but then you won't get the fan speed control because it'd control both of them at the same time. I imagine that's where you're looking right now, right? You're looking through the manual. Oh yeah, you can definitely do that, Archong. There's probably, all kinds of adapters and splitters that you can imagine. If you have like a spare USB header on the motherboard, you know that if you had USB ports on the front panel that plug into a header on a motherboard, but you have a spare one of those on the motherboard, you can often adapt that into this or that thing. Fan headers can be split into multiple things. You can get like Molex connector or a SATA connector adapters to multiple fan headers. There's a lot of options out there for you. But the problem is, you don't have that with you right now, right? You wish you had it now. There's always a solution, but it's likely super janky. Accident says, Final Fantasy V, my second speedrun game that I have to start practicing for the Final Fantasy Relay. What is that like an annual event coming up? Let us know when that is, Accident. Dude, you gotta promote that on our Discord so we know we can come cheer you on. But there are 5 people this time, so maybe I won't have to actually play and suffer the stress. Oh, as in, wait, how many people are in a relay for Final Fantasy V? Is it 5? Are you hoping that there are enough people that you don't have to play? Are you kind of like a backup? Accident? Gotcha, yeah. As long as you can use the computer now, Ryan, right? Then you can tinker later. There are 3 teams playing through most Final Fantasy games. That's sweet. Please feel free to promote that on our Discord. We would love to come hang out, check it out. I've heard of these Final Fantasy relays. I've heard of the ones where it's like simultaneous too, or was that only ever once? But definitely the relays where a group of people play a bunch of Final Fantasy games back to back. I kind of hope I'm a backup. I was actually in the relay the past 2 years, once with Final Fantasy IV, once... Please, Accident, Please link it. I want to see. I want to cheer Excellent on. That's awesome. All right. What's up, everyone? I'm very excited. And I'm excited that you're here. Oh, but with Final Fantasy V, if you make a walking mistake, you can make your run immensely difficult right off the bat. Oh my gosh. Well, I trust you to inform me about what that is, either in a non-spoilery way or at the appropriate time, because I am curiosity piqued. Excellent, for sure. So, I'm very excited. Today is the start of a new game, which is exciting and also, gives me a little bit of anxiety. Am I going to like it? Are you guys going to like it? Are we going to have a good time? That's always, you don't really know until you're a couple streams in, right? But I'm hoping we're going to have a good time. I've been a little bit jealous of Audrey's Year of Final Fantasy. How many of you guys were there for Year of Final Fantasy? I think some of you guys joined our channel during Audrey's Year of Final Fantasy, right? Pretty sure Archon was there with Final Fantasy 9, right? Excellent, you joined during Final Fantasy 4, right? Yeah. Raptor, I think 3 and 5 are the ones I'm less familiar with. So, great question. My backstory is that I received Final Fantasy 7 as a gift when I got my PlayStation, and that was my first Final Fantasy. I didn't fully appreciate it at the time. It was like totally new kind of game for me. So, I picked it up on and off, and then one day I was like, people love this game. So I went into GameFAQs, Game FAQs, literally printed out an entire walkthrough. Many pages, parents were upset, a lot of ink. And I played through Final Fantasy VII fully. And it's a beautiful game. After Final Fantasy VII, I played most of the games, but I personally never went back to any of the earlier games with the full intention of playing them through. I've certainly dabbled on this or that emulator to check them out, games I'd never played, because I never had an NES, never had an SNES growing up, so I didn't play them. But then, last year, or the year before, Audrey had her, the other half of this channel, my wife Audrey, played through a bunch of Final Fantasy games. So jealous. Starting with Final Fantasy 4 and then 6. Immediately. Two of the Final Fantasy games that I had never played. And so I was like, I gotta play one for my stream. And I was like, thinking back on which ones I should play, and based on my knowledge of the games, my limited knowledge, Final Fantasy V stood out. People said it's fun, and that there is a sick job system. I love a job system. So here we are. We're going to play Final Fantasy V. How is everyone? What is your experience with Final Fantasy in general, and Final Fantasy V specifically? How are the audio levels now, by the way? I bumped up the game audio from 40% to 50%. I want it to be present, but I don't want it to be too loud. I finished 5, but I don't remember anything. Well, okay. Excellent says, regarding the mistake for the run, it's all about encounter manipulation. Okay, which I don't really think is spoiler related. Gotcha. Discussing the why/hows of the enemy might be tough. Encounter manipulation is enough. It's just you're manipulating the fact that there is no true RNG in those games, right? I think I'm on the same page with that. I'm familiar with manipulation of the quote-unquote RNG in early games as a concept. Oh, Mount Gigamat, Final Fantasy X. Well, I don't know any of... Oh, Raptor joined during Final Fantasy X. Gotcha. So, I'm very excited to start Final Fantasy V. Ultimately, considering... I talked about this a little bit at the end of my last stream, in the post-stream chill session. I decided on the Game Boy Advance version of this game. I'm aware of all of the different versions of this game, official and unofficial, and ultimately just decided on this one. I'm trying to think if any website has really taken GameFAQs' place. Just wikis? Yeah, just wikis, and IGN has straight up walkthroughs that are web-based. that's not just all text-based and video walkthroughs viz, which are so hard to... Yeah. Hey, Cher, what's up? Happy Thursday. I remember being impressed by the job system, but dismissing the lighter story. But I don't remember it well enough to still feel strongly about that. Well, I'm going to do my best to keep an open mind. That is the other thing that I know about this game, is that the story is a little bit lighter. What that specifically means, I don't know, but we will see. We'll find out together. Accident says, a lot of times good guides get posted in like the Steam community section for a game it's on Steam. Yeah, the guides on Steam can be very sophisticated for sure. The formatting and the screenshots and images that people can post, and the GIFs too. But yes, so the various versions of Final Fantasy V. The Japanese Super Famicom version, right, and its unofficial fan translation exist. There's the Final Fantasy Anthology's PlayStation 1 version exists. There's the Game Boy Advance version. This one exists. And there's the Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. That exists. Not to mention all kinds of ROM hacks and mods to, transfer the music of this one into that one. Transferring the translation of this one to that one. Colors correcting this or that version into this or that version, okay? I'm aware of most of these, and I've simply decided on this Game Boy Advance version for its convenience and its officialness. Why not the Pixel Remaster version? I simply have not clicked with the aesthetic of the Pixel Remasters. There's something about the mismatch in the resolution of the assets and UI and all that just looks like they took aspects of the various versions of the games and threw them together. And I mentioned this before. Just me, personal preference thing. And I know that a lot of people enjoy the Pixel Remasters, especially with all the mods. And I guess that's the other question, is like, why not play the Pixel Remaster and then mod it? I did play around with the mods, thanks to Cher in chat informing me that was a thing, that a whole community was putting together mods for these Pixel Remasters. And as I was experimenting with the mods for the Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, I took a step back and realized that all I was doing was installing all of the mods that reverted it to the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom version. The look, the music, the feel. And I was like, why am I even playing this version then? What? So, yeah. Even with its flaws, I still consider the GBA version the definitive one for now. Accident, is that taking the Pixel Remaster version into consideration as well? Sure, yeah, I don't really get why new games don't just stick to one resolution for all of the assets. Yeah. With the Pixel Remasters, I think part of it is that they wanted to streamline all 6 games. And some of the assets, certainly the engine for them, right? Unity, they reused the assets across all 6 games, didn't they? I know for sure at least recurring enemies retain the same sprites across the 6 games. I think that's the case. Maybe certain tile sets for the environment also? I don't know for sure, but that could be a reason why. Yeah. I think for some of them, they even took like enemy sprites from maybe one of the PSP versions of the games. It's just all over the place, and that's just a personal thing for me. Those things stick out to me too much. But that's it. I know it's ultimately preference, and this is what I've selected. So, yeah. Exodus says, yeah, the remaster has its own issues that knock it down a peg, for sure. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys listening to me explaining why I'm playing this version. But we're going to do a couple things. This is still just a pre-show. We're going to check out the various copies of the game I have and just take a peek. Here we go. Starting off. Final Fantasy V for the Super Famicom. Check out the box. Pretty sweet. These wide boxes. I love the shape of this box for the Super Famicom games. pretty sweet. The cool thing about if you're getting into game collecting, the Japanese version of games often are cheaper than the ones here in North America. Super Famicom, pretty sweet. Also, I'm salty that they broke a lot of my speedrun tech in the remaster. Does anyone run the Pixel remasters? Excellent. That's got to be a category, right? All right, so let's crack open this box and see what's inside. Has anyone ever played the SNES version of this, or the Super Famicom with the fan translation? All right, so we got this plastic tray with the cartridge. Pretty sweet. Super Famicom cartridge. Still in pretty good condition. I'm pleased. The remaster of 4 is faster anyway, though, right? Oh, what do you mean, Viz? I know the Pixel remasters have like a fast forward option, and that's one thing I'm kind of missing. I think that's how I initially played it. Only sampled the GBA, but it did seem better. Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Hey, Alien Zero, what's up? I have that cart still. Nice. Pixel Remaster has a decent community for 4, but 5 and 6 are weak. Gotcha. I did the Super What's up, Blossom? I did the Super Famicom FF5 in Spanish. Probably understood like half of it, but it was fun. Nice. I have the Pixel Remaster version of 6 on my phone. Are you making progress on it? No fast forward, just auto battle. Gotcha. Here's this. Okay, so I don't see an instruction booklet in here, but I think it's an instruction booklet / map. It's one of these unfoldables. Whoa, here we go. Look at this. I don't tear this. Look at this. Nihongo wakarimasen. Let me just unfold this carefully and then show you guys. Whoa, spoilers! Spoiler City. Whoa. This is a lot. Look at this. I'm not going to look too closely. Spoilers! A lot of info in here. Pretty sweet, though. It also comes with this. I think it's an ad for another game. Does anyone know what the game this is? Someone read that? Is that Hanjuku Hiro? Something Hero? What is this game? I'm really rusty with this. Pretty sweet though. It has an ad. Dude, another ad for Seiken Densetsu 2, right? Secret of Mana. Pretty sweet. What is this game though? Hey Shiken, what's up? I can't read kanji, Shiken. I'm very, very, very rusty. So you're gonna have to give it to me in something I can understand. My friend who runs 4 Pixel Remaster said the auto battle is really the thing that makes it faster. Oh, you don't have to menu through the entirety of every counter. Gotcha. Also, you it's like optimally skipping the encounters. Yeah, I miss booklets too, Rapper, honestly. Hey, Cactars, what's up? Hello times 1,000. Now that we've done A Link to the Past, you should look at the manual for it. It's full of spoilers. We don't have a box copy, Biz. We only have the cartridge for Link to the Past. Alright, so what year was this? 1992. 1992. Hey, Shaokami, what's up? Hanjuku Hero. Okay, so I did say it. So, what is that game? Half-Baked Hero? Whoa, that's such a fun title for a game. How are you doing, Shaokami? Oh, I mean, I just Googled the manual? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's tell Audrey to do that. She might want to look at it. She's going to be like, I wish I had this manual. For the relay, they finally selected the game/categories, and 1 through 4 will be pixel remasters, but 5 and 6 are both SNES. Gotcha. Categories, yes. Pixel remasters have many improvements. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Nothing in a manual is a spoiler. Fight me. Whoa, Bloss. I refuse to fight you. Okay, next version we have. Did anyone play this or these? Final Fantasy Anthology. You know, there's also the Final Fantasy Chronicles and Final Fantasy Origins, right? So Final Fantasy Anthology includes Final Fantasy 5 and 6, right? Was this the first official release in North America of Final Fantasy V? Yes. There's Final Fantasy Chronicle, which has Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy IV. Is that right? And then Final Fantasy Origin. What is in that? Is that just Final Fantasy 1 and 2? I forgot what Origin has. Yeah, the loading times. That's the first thing that people who are familiar with these remember is the incredible loading times. Impressive loading times. Those suck, yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't remember if I even own that one. I have Chronicles, though. Gotcha. Origins 1 and 2. Gotcha. I have the French one. Bought it just because I was there. That's a pretty sweet, unique souvenir. Anthology has a cool FMV intro, but other than that, nah. Yeah. Were any of the FMVs created for the PlayStation 1 versions of these games brought forward? Like in any other re-releases? I know, for example, you know the anime cutscenes they made for Chrono Trigger in Final Fantasy Chronicles? I think they brought those anime cutscenes to the Nintendo DS version of Chrono Trigger, right? I was thinking about that. Did they do that with any of them? I think even the FMV intro is pretty ugly, personally. I want to see now. I've probably seen them before. But let's take a peek. Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. Learn from the past. 2 complete classic RPGs in one collection. Contains Final Fantasy V, never before released in the US, and Final Fantasy VI. 2 different adventures, each with epic storylines. 30-plus hours of gameplay, memorable characters, plus entirely new CG cinemas unique to this collection. Nice. See the origins of hot features later seen in Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, including summoning magic, the active time battle system, mini-quests, and more. Countless weapons, items, magic spells, and special skills allow the incredible gameplay depth and strategy. Contains bonus music CD featuring favorite scores from both games. Loading was there because of the music. I can see that because I got to stream the music. The Chrono Trigger one's great though. I like it. It fits the. It looks like it, you know. Hey Paradox, what's up? Final Fantasy V, your second favorite Final Fantasy. Check these out. I'm gonna make sure nothing falls out as I show you. Manual. Here's 6 and that music disc. Let's check it out. Music from Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI video games. Oh, my favorite 2D Final Fantasy. Gotcha. Sorry, I read that too fast. Let's take a peek at this manual here. It's in pretty good condition. I do really like that for all the stuff on this, they use the Amano art. You know, for most of the stuff. I'll show you examples where it's not. Check this out. So, different sections. Spoilers. Instruction manual spoilers. Who's that? What's that? Still got the registration card in here. Pretty sweet. Yeah, it is a mono art on the discs. But then behind it's, I think, captures from the CG art. It's freaking... It's your boy. I had the single release Japanese versions before I traded them for the Japanese collection in the blue package. I am unfamiliar. Aliens there, you're saying these PlayStation 1 versions of these were sold separately also in a collection? There's that. Final Fantasy Anthology. Glad we got to see that. And then, finally, the one that we're going to be playing. Somebody needs to make an Amano-inspired game. What would that be like? Like you mean a game where the in-game art adheres more closely to the Amano concept art style? Is that what you mean? Here it is. Final Fantasy V Advance. Pretty sweet art. Here's the box. Box spoilers. You know, this must have come out when the Nintendo DS was already out, huh? For them to be able to put it on this. I wonder if this is a late run or if this was just a late game. So the PlayStation... So, Super Famicom was 1992. PlayStation 1 version was 1999. And then this Game Boy Advance version... I think it's 2006? Yeah, 2006. Pretty sweet. Let's take a peek at what's inside. I think there's a ton of stuff in here. Alright, so the cartridge was originally in this plastic baggie on this tray. Here's all the goodies. A nice, delicious instruction booklet. Spoilers. Right, of course. Oh, what's that? I don't know that. Now I know that. Spoilers. Health and safety precautions booklet. Take a break. Love this. Check this out. If you like Final Fantasy V, check out these other great games. And then on the other side, it's promoting Star Fox Command, the DS. Pretty sweet. Hey, Kessler, what's up? I'm going to get the Pixel Remaster at some point. Yeah, Paradox, they're all out now. By the way, I got a... But, like, actually nail the art style with either Into the Spider-Verse style 3D or Grease style 2D. I imagine that's so hard. Is there anything that is close to Amano art in motion? I need to know what it would look like in motion. That's the hard thing I'm imagining, Cher. Check this out. It also comes with a now available DS Lite. Not even the regular DS. DS Lite's already out at this point. Guys, we got some green tea. Jasmine green tea with a little bit of honey in it. The reason is I have tea again. It's been a while since I've had tea. It's because we're playing a game that does not have voice acting. Anthony's going to have to read all the shit again. It's been a little while. So I got some tea. Check it out. Game Boy Advance SP. This is the AGS 101 version with the built-in superior backlight. Maybe. Maybe it's not, actually. Considering the colors of the consoles, no. This is still the AGS 001. So I don't know if you guys know, but the Game Boy Advance SP, the clamshell version, had a later revision with a better backlight. But in North America, that one was like a metallic pink, metallic blue, and onyx version. Also advertising the Game Boy player. Did anyone have a Game Boy player for their GameCube? I'll show you guys it in a second, but it's this attachment here to put under your GameCube. And then, of course, Subscribe to Nintendo Power. But with the Final Fantasy V Amano art. Pretty sweet. Ippo's crying. He wants some attention right now. Let me put this away. Thank you guys for hanging out with me as we check out the various copies of the game we have. Is that it? Are there any other physical versions of this game? Same one visiting, gotcha. Nice. Okay, so now we're still in the pre-show. The last thing I want to do is go over all of the different hardware options that we have to play this Game Boy Advance version of the game and capture it. And then reveal to you, or rather just showcase the features of the one that we're ultimately using. And then I need chat's opinion on something. There are some ways to customize my experience that I need you guys' real-time feedback. All right? So get ready for that at the end of this segment. How should Anthony play this game? Okay? Need some feedback. But here we go. Totally legit way that we could be playing Game Boy Advance games and capturing them. And that is what we just saw. The Game Boy Player. So here's a GameCube, right? And that is the Game Boy Player attachment. It's on the bottom. It screws in. And it has a slot for Game Boy Advance. Now, while the Game Boy Advance can play... The Game Boy Advance itself can play Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games, I'm pretty sure... No. This one can. No, this can. This can play Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color games. And that is because what is inside of this Game Boy Player unit is literally Game Boy Advance hardware. And the way that you officially use this is with this disc that Alien Zero talked about, called the Game Boy Player Startup Disc. You pop this into the GameCube, you know, the mini CDs. You boot it up, and then it plays. Game Boy Advance. So then we could put this into our, we could plug it into our various scalers and HDMI capture stuff, and then play it like that, right? No, that's not how we're doing it. Oh, there's a third-party company that made controllers for the GameCube. It's a GameCube controller, officially, but it was made for Game Boy Player, so it has an SNS shape to it for playing those Game Boy Player games. Another method we have. Dude, a DS, right? Look at this OG fat DS. Right? Did you know the DS has a Game Boy Advance slot as well? This one, I've personally modified myself. Check it out. What does that look like to you? That is a micro USB port. So I can capture footage from this DS, which means I can also capture Game Boy Advance games. So that's another way. Pretty sweet. And this one I showed last time. Let me catch up real quick. I do have my Dark Souls shirt on. That's right, Kessler. Hey, Leo, what's up? How are you? However you want, Paradox? Yes, that's true. Never seen the Game Boy Player in action. Maybe I'll use it one day then, Kessler, so you can see it. Does extra stuff that happens after game count as spoiler? Whoa! I mean, yes, if I haven't beaten the game, Paradox, right? Which is most comfortable for your hands? We'll get there, Viz. Should just play Pixel Remaster. I just don't like the look of it, Alien Zero. We went over that, Alien Zero. Were you listening? Were you taking notes? Hey, Miss Nobody. Love the OG DS. Still have mine to play GBA games. It's sweet. Sweet. I also have another Nintendo DS Lite that I modded that has video out, but it's really inferior image quality. Here is the ultimate. I showed this last time. This device is called the Game Boy Advance Consolizer. Okay? This is a 3D printed housing. And what it is, I can take the top off, is that's the Game Boy Advance's motherboard here. All wired up. I did the soldering myself, learned a new skill. And what it does is it connects to another board that allows it to be powered by micro USB. And it has mini HDMI out. The audio and the video of Game Boy Advance games come out. Just plug that into your TV or capture card. And then to control things, it has a Super Nintendo controller port, which means I can play comfortably from the couch on the TV using either SNES controller, Super Famicom controller, which, honestly, do you guys have a preference? I think I prefer the Japanese or European Famicom controller. I did not like these. The X and Y are concave. Did you guys? Surely you guys know that. A and B are more normal convex controllers, as in they bump up. But X and Y are concave, as in they're like they're bowls. They're indented in the center. Can you see with the glare of light if I move it? But in Japan and in Europe, they have this controller where all 4 buttons are the same. Convex. And the colors are pretty fun. I don't know. I just prefer that. Also, another crazy thing is the Super Famicom controller's cable is way shorter. And I don't know if this is true or this is the reason, but people just said, like, well, I mean, Japanese homes and living rooms are much smaller. You don't need as long of a cable. But for even more comfort, I have these freaking sweet 8-bit do SNES style controllers, wireless. Again, reproducing the SNES style and Super Famicom concave and convex buttons. The wireless receivers are these, they use these SNES style plugs. I could play Game Boy Advance games from the couch on the living room with a wireless controller. Pretty sweet. What if they did a Final Fantasy V remake, dude, Kessler? Did you buy the mobile version, but they took it off? That one looked good, too. I was okay with the look. I know a lot of people hated it, and some people really defended it. I thought it was okay, Alien Zero. But I didn't play it all the way through, or play any of them all the way through, but I know what you're talking about. I played Final Fantasy Dimensions on Android. That was pretty sweet, and it had a similar aesthetic as those ones, right? Alien Zero? Oh, I think I like the X and Y buttons. They remind me of Smarties, the candy. Oh, you mean the North American controller one, Shaokame? You mean this, the more gray lavender concave ones, Smartie style? Prince Leo with the VIP badge. Thank you, Prince Leo, for being around long enough to earn that and redeem your meows, your channel points, for the VIP badge. Let's get that going. So, just so you guys know, the VIP badge is while supplies last. And the price is subject to change. There it is, Prince Leo. You may need to refresh to see it, maybe not. Give it a second. Try a message and then see if it's there. But congratulations, Prince Leo. The price has already come up. They may go up again as we run low, but get them while you can. There it is. Congrats, Leo. Don't Smarties look more like the Famicom buttons? Smarties have the concave surface on both sides. Maybe Smarties in different regions are different. Okay, now we come to the final part This is the actual device that I will be playing Final Fantasy V Advance on, okay? It is actually the same thing as this GBA consolizer device, but it's an alternate version, okay? So it still uses the original hardware, still a Game Boy Advance motherboard, but the hardware is built into a Game Boy Advance itself. So you can see the consolizer unit replaces the screen, right? There's that SNES port. So I could play it with a, a SNES style controller, wired or wireless, but all of the buttons on the Game Boy Advance still work. So I can still hold this thing and play it and have the feel, right? Shoulder buttons and all that. And then at the top of it, well, you see the controller port and everything, or the cartridge port's still there and everything. This has a mini HDMI out, micro USB, and then the power switch for the whole thing. You can see that the speaker's been removed, and there's no batteries. The battery terminal's removed. Oh no, I pressed the button. Okay. No batteries because it's all micro USB powered. So I'll be playing it literally holding this. So one of the reasons I was thinking I'll just use this version, because if anyone's saying like, are you emulating it? Are you playing the original on original hardware? Original hardware right here. Look at it. I'm holding it in my hands. So that's what I was thinking. But if it for any reason becomes uncomfortable, I can easily just plug in a controller and play more comfortably in my lap. But otherwise, here, just playing this on my desk. It's lightweight, has no batteries in it. I got really slim cables. So this is the version we're going to play. How much weight did that add to it? Not much. And it would kind of cancels out Alien Zero because I don't have to put 2 AA batteries in it. Apparently there are Smarties chocolates that look like the Famicom buttons and Smarties tablet candies that look like the Nintendo buttons. It's probably exactly what you're mixing up. I have a mod on my GBA that does AV out. So old. No, I think that mod is still popular. It still exists in Zero. Not that old. Yeah, the US ones are the chalky fruit flavored ones. I need to look up these other chocolate Smarties. I think controller would be more comfortable in the long run. Kessler, I think so too, but ultimately I did play an entire Nintendo 3DS RPG on stream where I was holding the 3DS itself on my table to play and stream it. So I feel like this is going to be more comfortable than that was, and that was perfectly tolerable. But you're right. I at least have the option here. Wait, no. I played with a controller on that 3DS game, didn't I? Never mind. Cancel that. I used an external controller mod on that 3DS. My bad. Cancel that. Yeah, Historia, Raptor. Oh, the Smarties in the UK are chocolates, like M&M's. I had them when I was growing up in Malaysia. I think they're sweeter than M&M's. Whoa! They're just straight up... Are they like the same brand? I don't know. Smarties. So, okay. Final part of this pre-show. I need everyone's opinion, okay? Everyone, attention. May I have your attention, please? I'm going to go into the game now. Check out this scene. You guys want to hear about this miracle? Remember how we made this scene? This windowed 16:9 scene? Turns out, if you don't know, the aspect ratio, the shape of the screen on the Game Boy Advance, is not 16:9, it's 3:2. And guess what? I didn't have to change this scene at all. Game Boy Advance ended up fitting exactly in the space that I left. So I don't have to change my webcam or my chat box. Game Boy Advance games just fit there exactly coincidentally. Or perfectly planned. I did it. I planned it ahead of time. All right. Let me show you its features. The GBA consolizer. Sorry for this long pre-show. I just really want you guys' opinion on this. All right. So this is the very beginning of the game. I just need it to demonstrate stuff. Might be easier if I plug a controller in to do this. So I will do Okay, Game Boy Advance Consolizer. Let me show you its features. There's some picture settings and system settings. I don't think the system settings are relevant to us here. Picture settings, okay? Check this out. It has some smoothing features that I personally don't care about. Look at the edges of the pixels. Smoothed out a little. Can you see that? 2 times smooth. It interpolates and kind of doubles the resolution. And then there's also blend mode, where it does that, but it also does a little bit of anti-aliasing. Right? Look at the chocobo here. Then off. Look at him. Neat, right? I'm not going to be using that. Just wanted to show you. Zoom. Irrelevant here. Here's the big one, y'all. Color. So if you don't know, the original Game Boy Advance, this style and shape one, did not have a backlight, right? Just like the original Game Boy, it was just this dim screen. You had to hold up to the street light. You know, you're playing in the car, your parents are driving. You only really could see the screen every time you passed the street light. You're like, oh. No backlight. As such, developers, when choosing colors for Game Boy Advance games, chose much more saturated, bright colors so that they could show more clearly on the non-backlit screen. Which means when you play those Game Boy Advance games, like on an emulator or on something with a backlight screen, the colors can look very harsh, very bright, very saturated. Right? So in this Game Boy Advance Consolizer device, they have color correction profiles here that allow you to change the color profile of the games to emulate the look of these corresponding devices. Alright, so check out the chocobo and the background, I guess. And then this is a color profile that makes it look more like what it would have looked like on a Game Boy Advance screen. A little less saturated, right? There's also a Game Boy Color profile, which is a little bit different, and that's because you can play Game Boy Color games on this. There's another one for if you're playing Game Boy Advance games on a DS. It's very different. And then this one, I actually don't know what this one is. So we'll be playing on the Game Boy Advance one. Okay. That's not what I needed you guys' help with, though. This is irrelevant to us. This is irrelevant to us. This is Game Boy. But scan lines. This thing has built-in scan lines. And this is something that I've talked with some of you guys about in great length to some of you on the Discord. Oops. Hey, Johnny, what's up? And this Game Boy Advance Consolizer offers multiple scan line options. And you must be wondering, wait, the Game Boy Advance didn't really have scan lines, right? What's up, Kotorimaru? Konnichiwa to you as well. It made me think of the Visual Boy Advance 2, Viz, but I don't think that's it. So it has regular scan lines of different levels of intensity, right? I don't think I'll be using this on stream. And the concern, to just summarize it, is that unless I'm streaming the actual resolution of what I'm seeing, and you guys are watching this stream at that resolution, as in not in a window, like full screened, unless you're doing that, these scan lines could be scaled by your video player in an unusual way that struggles with these regular patterns, that kind of warps them and skews them, right? But I wouldn't even play with scan lines because Game Boy Advance doesn't have scan lines, right? What it does have is, check this out, a grid, both horizontal and vertical scan lines. Check this out. There's light, medium, and dark intensity. I think I would prefer light, but this more closely emulates what Game Boy and Game Boy Advance screens looked like. When you look closely at those screens, you could kind of make out the individual pixels, and there was a little bit of separation between them. And this kind of emulates that look. What do you guys think of this looks like? What do you guys think of this look? the grid lines, right? That's one question. What do you think about the look? And then the other question is, especially if you guys are viewing this stream right now on a PC, could you window your browser and then drag the corners to resize it? Do these grid lines still look okay at different sizes on your screen? Or does it get all skewed and warped and weird? It might be most obvious if I put it on dark grid. Ultimately, for me, it looks fantastic, right? But what I want to know is, with this compressed and then resized on your Twitch viewing method, does it look good? Some of you guys are working on phone, or some of you guys are watching on phone. Does this still look good? Because I like it, and I'd like to play it, unless it looks terrible for you. Looks fine? Thank you. What's up, Foxhound? They look great, even shrunken down for me. Okay, great. That's really important to me, because I don't want to make a choice that makes a game look better for me, but worse for you. Like, that would be really terrible. Looks good on PC? Looks fine. Great. So it's not scaling unevenly. What I've found is this grid scales better than the scan lines. Maybe because it's both horizontal and vertical. Alright, so I lean towards the grid, but how do you guys feel about... What do you guys think? Light, medium, or dark? I feel like dark is too harsh. Light. Oh, yeah, great point, Raptor. Fine 95% of the time, but phone Wi-Fi is buggy. Yeah, if you have to drop down to a different transcode, like 720p or 480p, then that can definitely affect the scaling as well. It's going to mess with it, but... Medium? Because I'm asking you guys this with this pre-show. We have not started yet, Johnny. Because I kind of just want to pick one thing and just do the whole playthrough in that one way. Medium? You guys like medium? Or does that dim the game? Light is safer for shrinking, right? I think so too. Light is subtle. You can see that it's going on, but it doesn't dim the screen too much. Right? Like dark, it's certainly a darker image overall as a result. How would you guys feel about just light? It still has the effect, still looks cool, right? Think light is the best? Okay. Thank you guys very much for your opinions on that. So we will be going with the Game Boy Advance color adjustment and the light grid scan lines. I was watching on 480 by accident and thought it seemed fine. Okay, you guys are great. Thank you so much for sticking in there as we did this amazing pre-show. Let me save that. Okay. Great. I'm so pleased. Thank you guys for your opinion. Okay, let me take a sip of water, and we're going to start this playthrough proper. Raptor. Okay, gotcha. All right. So I'm going to, for as long as I can, I'm not going to play with the controller. Johnny, you just got here, right? I'm going to be playing on my Game Boy Advance consolizer, which is original hardware. By the way, those of you who have been around for a while, check out the commands, !FF5, and check out the command, !version. I'd ask that if any new people show up and ask questions about my experience with Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy V or what version I'm playing, please feel free to use the appropriate chat command to answer their questions. That's !FF5 or !version. Version might... I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid, but I just have a feeling people are going to be in like, oh, what version are you playing? Oh, did you know about this or that version? Yes. I do know. I would love to see more GBA games streamed in this style now. Me too. Maybe we'll do a showcase of how those other games look on this thing as a fun post-stream thing. Thank you, Kessler. So anyone is free to use those commands to just help answer questions for other people showing up. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it off. And then back on. And then I'm going to go to a nice load screen. And then we'll start the stream. Start the beginning of the VOD for this playthrough. Thank you so much for this. Hanging out for this pre-stream nonsense. Okay, we got the prelude. Final Fantasy Prelude. Yeah, Johnny, I went over... We opened up all these boxes of all of these versions of the game I have. Looked at the manuals and stuff for fun. So check the VOD for that if you want. I remember playing so many hours of Pokemon Leaf Green on Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I'm excited to finally use this hardware on stream. Do you know about the Final Fantasy version where I drew my guess of what the game is like on a napkin with a coffee stain on it? Oof. I'm sorry, Viz. I didn't know about that version. I'll play that one next time for my second playthrough. The Viz Major napkin coffee stain edition. All right, we're going to do a fresh start for the VOD. And then we're going to start our playthrough. Final Fantasy V Advance.